Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you a couple things that I'm doing this summer to keep my summer containers looking healthy and lush for the entire season. The first thing that I'm going to start with though are the hanging planters. So I have these hanging planters right in the front of my house. I have had violas in them since probably about March or April, and they just look really tired and ready to be pulled at this point. Violas and pansies tend to be cool season flowers, so whenever the heat sets in, which my God, it has set in here in New Jersey, they need to be pulled out. They are perennials for the most part here, or they do freely self-seed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop them over here by the fairy garden that I have right by the front door. But really what I'm going to be focusing on is planting these beautiful fuchsia baskets that I just picked up from the garden center. Now this is a little bit of an older, more traditional look, but they're so gorgeous and they're so full. Typically I see the bicolor ones that have the bright purple and bright fuchsia colors. This is a very light pink, and I really gravitated towards it. Now this area of the house, it does get morning sun and afternoon shade, so I think that this is going to do really well in there. Now the way I'm going to go ahead and plant these containers is I'm going to fill the bottom about 1/3 of the container with compost. And you don't just need to do this with hanging containers, you can do this with any container for the most part. The reason why that's helpful is that compost holds on to moisture for a little bit longer, and it really helps the soil obviously and amends the soil throughout. So it's really going to help that container not dry out so quickly, especially since that cocoa coir gets the air circulation coming through it. So in general, hanging containers that are in that cocoa coir tend to dry out a little bit faster unless you put a liner inside of it or you line it with the compost. And I have found that the compost works really well. Like I said, it doesn't just need to be a hanging container. So let me go ahead, pop that out, and then I'll show you what I'm doing with some of my other containers as well. Now I am going to refresh this soil. I don't need to throw it out because there was no pests in it or anything of that nature. That would be the only time I would throw it out. But what you can do in order to refresh it is just either mix some compost, some fertilizer, or some fresh soil in it. Use maybe a 1 part old soil, 2 to 3 parts new soil in it. But you can tell there's no more nutrients left in it, and it's just not going to help the annuals thrive. So I'm just using Coast of Maine compost blend. Putting a layer down. Now you can put a slow release fertilizer into the containers. Obviously that's always a really good thing. Oftentimes when you're planting your annuals, you will see, if you look at the root ball, you'll see either green or sometimes white colored little balls. That is a slow release fertilizer. So oftentimes the grower has already put some sort of slow release fertilizer in there. I don't use it more often than not, only because I tend to not have it handy. But what you do want to make sure of is that you're fertilizing somewhere between once a week or every other week at least. The other thing to note is during the spring and the fall season, you can really cram a lot of different plants into your containers. During the summer months though, when your annuals are a little bit smaller and the root balls are a little bit smaller, you want to give that root ball as much room as possible, because what ends up happening is during the summer months, those annuals tend to absolutely explode and they need as much room as possible. So don't cram your containers too full in the summer months. All right. The next thing that I'm going to use is a self-watering container. Now I went ahead and purchased these 2 self-watering containers. I actually purchased a bunch of them because I was going to use it for one of my workshops down at my studio. I'm not going to recommend them, and I'm not going to say the name of it, only because it is advertised and marketed very, very heavily as a self-watering container. And then lo and behold, when they shipped it, they only shipped the container part, because it wasn't very clear that the actual self-watering part of the container was to be a separate purchase. So to me, it was a little bit misleading, but let me show you what it is. So basically you have your main container. There's no drainage holes here. The reason is that this acts as a reservoir. And then you have the place where you actually plant the plant itself. And then you have this little tube, I guess, where it basically rises and falls depending on how much water there is in the reservoir. So it kind of is an indicator in terms of whether you need to fill the reservoir or not. This is great. This is great for when you want to go on vacation, if you have things that really like a lot of water, which is more of your annuals than not. So I have these 2 ferns that are looking really, really sad by the front door, obviously because I haven't watered them. I'm going to pop them in here. I'm also going to put some caladiums around them, which also really like a lot of water. And then this should be good to go. Now for these, I do not put any compost in. It's just going to be straight potting soil. The reason is that compost is, like I said previously in the video, that compost does hold on to moisture. So if it's sitting in moisture, it just becomes a sponge and wicks that moisture up to the root ball, and that root ball will rot, even if the plant loves water. Nobody really likes soggy feet. That's basically what the plants are going to be sitting in. So this is just going to be straight potting soil. Let's go ahead and get this potted up. Now these get heavy when they're full, so you want to make sure you have them in their correct location while it's filling up with water. And so the way this works is fairly simple. You have a tube. Within this tube, you have a piece of styrofoam with a bobber. You put the tube in one of these holes that you just planted your plants in, and then that bobber is going to float as long as there's water in the reservoir of the self-watering container. If there isn't, it's obviously not going to float. You know it's time to refill the container. So there you go. That right there is the blue bobber that's floating because there's water in the self-watering container. So I'm going to clean up this mess, show you the final result up here, and then I'm going to show you one more thing that I'm adding to my containers down below. All right, so here we have the 2 self-watering containers. I trimmed this fern a little bit. This one, evidently, I forgot to trim, so I'll go back through and trim some of that dead out. But I think that they're going to be a lot happier in these containers. Now, they're not the most aesthetically pleasing containers, but I think if you're just looking for something to stay nice and healthy throughout the summer months, they'll do fine. And like I had mentioned in the previous part of the video, or at least I think I did, there's a lot of different brands out there. So just make sure to read the fine print to make sure that it's an entire system coming together rather than being sold separate. Now the last thing that I'm going to be adding into my summer containers, which is actually an idea that I stole from my good friend John over at Bexarava Garden. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, you should go look at it. He's very witty and he has great taste in music. Anyway, what I'm going to be adding are these olla pots. Now olla pots are basically just a terracotta watering system, and it's a great way to kind of set your pot and forget it, kind of like a self-watering system. They're basically terracotta. Now I have seen a lot of videos of people DIYing this themselves. I don't have the time for that, so I just bought them off of Amazon. I'll go ahead and link it in case you guys are interested. This is a 700 milliliter one, which means that at the spread that it's going to release the water is going to be about 18 inches, which is perfect for a container. Anywhere up to a gallon will do about 1 to 2 feet, depending on where you are. So it slowly, because it's a porous material, it slowly releases water into the surrounding soil around it. And then once it senses that the soil is already moist, it stops releasing soil. It's basically just a science around it because it's a porous material. Now, I've done this a little bit backwards because the way you're supposed to do this is you're supposed to put the olla pot into the pot before planting the annuals, then fill everything around it, water it, and then go ahead and fill the olla pot. My annuals are already planted because I got these a little bit too late. So we're gonna do this backwards. I swallowed a bug. Anyway, we're gonna do this backwards, but it's fine. We're just gonna go ahead and get it done. So I'm going to dig out a spot, put this in, then I'm gonna go ahead and water the entire planter, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill the olla pot with water. Now it comes, you need to make sure that it has a lid or some kind of cork to keep it closed so that bugs and critters and things don't get in here. Ollas are made from unglazed terracotta, so capillary action pulls water slowly through the raw clay walls. And because roots sense that moisture, they actually grow towards it. It's passive, it's efficient, and it works with the plant's natural instincts instead of against them. All right guys, leave in the comments below if you have any questions, or let me know what you guys do to keep your summer annuals healthy in your containers, because I know it can be a struggle, especially when things start getting really, really hot and people start leaving on vacation and things of that nature. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll see you in the garden.